Hello everyone. Now we are going to solve GATE 2017 questions of physical metallurgy. Okay. So the first we'll see the first 1 marks question. The sequence of precipitation to reach stable equilibrium during aging of Al 4.5 weight% copper alloy is GP zone, theta double dash, theta dash and theta. The correct answer will be what? B. If you see the stress versus like the aging time, what happens when we age? What happens? The strength increases, right? After some time, due to the overaging, the strength decreases. And if you see this zone, the amount of strength increase is due to GP zone. After that, we get up to this zone about theta double dash. Then theta dash remains over here. Then ultimately we get theta. Okay. So theta is the stable phase of aluminum copper. That is Al2Cu. Okay. So what is the sequence? After GP zone, theta double dash will form, then theta dash will form, then theta will form, right? So the correct option is option B. Okay. Next question. For a FCC metal, radius of the largest sphere that can fit in the tetrahedral void is. Okay. So we are given here FCC structure, right? You know about this FCC structure. Okay, this is your FCC structure. These are your atoms. Now, if you want to draw a tetrahedral void here, then you will have to connect this sphere with this one. Okay. This corner atom will attach with this face center atom. This face center will get attached to this face center. After that, you join these. These are the three atoms which are together. Right, three atoms which are together, and this is the fourth atom which is resting on this three atoms, right? So if you see the edge length of the tetrahedral, okay, if you see the edge length of tetrahedral, then this length will be what? Root 2a by 2, that is a by root 2. Right. So similarly, this edge length, and this edge length all will be equal. So this is a regular tetrahedron. Right? This is a regular tetrahedron. So if you calculate the R by R ratio of the regular tetrahedron, then it will come .225. How you can do 0.225 R, right? 0.225 and capital R, that is R equal to root 2a by 4. Right? So root 2 by 4 into a is what? 0.401. So this will be 0.0318 angstrom. Right? This is the answer. Okay. In an iron carbon alloy containing 0.35 weight% carbon, the mass fraction of perlite just below the eutectoid temperature is. It is asking about just below the eutectoid temperature is. Okay, so let us draw first the iron carbon diagram up to the section of eutectoid steel. Okay. Right. This is what 0.0025, right? This is what 0.02. This is what 0. How much it is? In some book you will find 0.8, 0.83 or 0.78 also. I will take 0.8, no problem. Okay, here it is given also, like the eutectoid composition is 0.8 weight%, no problem at all. And the carbon content in ferrite is 0.025. So here also it is given 0.025, no problem. Okay. And we have been asked about an alloy which contains 0.35. So let it be in the middle. Suppose 0.35 it contains, right? Okay. Let it be point A and point B. At point B, the 0.8% weight% steel basically forms what? 100% perlite. Right? So it is asking the mass fraction of perlite just below the eutectoid temperature. So just below. Okay, it is asking what just below. So the tie line will be nothing but close to AB, right? So we can consider AB, right? So here it is asking what percentage perlite. Sorry, the mass fraction of perlite. Mass fraction of perlite. Okay. Since perlite is in the right side, that is perlite, and here it will be alpha, right? So perlite is in the right side, so mass fraction of perlite will be what? AO upon AB, right? So AO will be what? 0.35 minus 0.025 divided by AB. AB will be what? 0.8 minus 0.025, right? So if you calculate this one, then you will get the answer, and that will be equal to 0.41, right? I have calculated this one. So you calculate by yourself, then you will find it at 0.41, right? So this is your answer. Okay, let us move to next question. A cubic metal has a density of 19,000 kg per meter cube, lattice parameter of 0.4 nanometer and atomic weight of 183. Okay, the effective number of atoms in an unit cell of this metal is. So what is the total number of atom or the effective number of atom in the unit cell? Let us consider the unit cell something like this, and we don't know how much, basically how many atoms are there, but even if it is a simple cubic, then it will be at least one atom in the corner. The rest atom we don't know how much it will be. Okay, so let it be number of atom per unit cell be n, right? And the mass of one atom will be what? Molecular mass is the mass of 1 mole of atom. So the mass of one atom will be m divided by Avogadro number, right? And we know that density is equal to mass upon volume, right? So mass will be how much? Mass will be nothing but the mass of the atom. So n into m by Na and divided by volume. So volume will be what? This A cube, this is the edge length, that is A, so A cube, right? So we'll put these values over here. So n we have to calculate m 183 and Na is 1.6 into 10 power, sorry, Na is 6.02 into 10 power 23 A cube. A it is given 0.4 into 10 power minus 9 to the power 3, right? And this will be equal to what? 19,000 kg per meter cube, right? And here if you see the mass, that is 183, this will be in gram, so you'll again divide it with 1000, right guys? Okay, so now in the next term, if you calculate this, then your answer will be, and if you find, I have calculated this one, you calculate by yourself, n equal to 4.001. Since n is an integer, so it will be n equal to 4, that is total number of atom will be 4. So the effective number of atom, which is 4, is in the case of FCC. So this is what a FCC structure material. Okay guys, let us move to next question. Primary mechanism of accommodating plastic strain at low temperature in crystalline metals are. So it is asking about the plastic strain at low temperature. We know that at low temperature the slip system is not very active. It is not very active or not very prominent. So what happens, since the difficulty of slip is there, so there is a mechanism of twinning. In twinning, we know that there is a plane, and in the plane we get a mirror like image of the dislocation. Basically the arrangement of atom takes place such that it looks like a mirror image. So what happens, whenever this happens, then the effective movement of atom is in the fraction of the lattice parameter. Fractional movement it takes place. In the slip, we move by a unit of Berger vector. Okay. In the slip, we move by a unit of Berger vector, right? The Berger vector, like whatever the b value it has, b is nothing but it can be considered at the one interatomic distance, right? The closest back interatomic distance. So b vector. But in the twin, some fraction of b it moves. Some fraction of b, like it will be 0.5b, 0.6b, it will be. So this movement is easy as compared to the total movement of b, right? So that's why at low temperature the twinning mechanism takes place. Okay, and some amount of dislocation slip also takes place depending on the structure. Like if it is FCC, then it will be some amount of dislocation will be easy. Okay, tuning and dislocation slip. Okay, and the dislocation climb, these all things happen at high temperature. Viscous flow will also happen at high temperature. Diffusion will also happen at high temperature. Right. The second peak in the powder X-ray diffraction pattern of FCC metal occurs at a Bragg angle in degrees. Okay, here that is alpha. Wait, here the lambda value is given, the wavelength of the X-ray is given 0.154, and the lattice parameter of the metal is given 0.36. Okay, so we'll use the Bragg equation here, and according to Bragg equation, n lambda is equal to 2d sin theta, and this is a first order reflection, so lambda is equal to 2d sin theta, and theta is what? Bragg angle. Right. So lambda will put 0.154 nanometer, 10 to minus 9 to d. D is what? A upon root 2. A upon root under n. N is for the which peak? Is it the first peak or the second peak? So n of second peak. So n is equal to, we know, 3, 4, 8, 11 for the case of FCC, right? So for the second peak, we'll take n equal to how much? We'll take n equal to 4, right? Okay. To A. A is how much? 0.36 into 10 power minus 9 root under 2 into sin theta. So if you calculate from this one, then theta will be 25.32 degree, right? So this is your answer. Now let us move to next question. 4 alloys C1, C2, C3, C4 shown in the phase diagram are poured at temperature T1. Okay, so from here it is being poured in a mold. During solidification, which one of these alloys is expected to have highest fluidity? Okay, so it is asking about the highest fluidity. So what is basically fluidity? Fluidity is nothing but ability to flow in certain cross section. It is ability to flow. Okay, so metal which has a very narrow range of solidification, narrow temperature range of solidification, that will have more fluidity, because that will ultimately, solidify at a particular temperature. So there will be no any two-phase mixture, and hence their solubility will be increased. So if you see case of C1, when it is trying to melt, then here there is a two-phase mixture, right? Then single phase, then single phase. So here two-phase mixture is there. In case of C2 also, here the two-phase mixture is there. But in the case of C3, there is only one point at which the melting is taking place, okay, or the solidification is taken. In the case of C4 also, two-phase mixture is there, then no single phase is there. So in the case of only C3, we are getting single point of solidification. That's why this alloy will have the maximum solubility. So option will be C3. Now let us move to 2 marks question. Okay. For homogeneous nucleation of solid and a liquid of a pure metal, the critical edge length of a cube-shaped nucleus is. Okay. So let us consider this is the liquid, right? And we are getting nucleus of cube shape. This is the cube shaped nucleus. In a cube shaped nucleus, if you find the volume and the surface area, then volume will be what? A cube. That the length will be A. The surface area will be how? 6 into A square. Right? Now, whenever the nucleation takes place, then what happens? There is a release of energy, right? A release of energy, the excess energy, when it tries to solidify. But since this material will solidify, this cube will solidify on a surface, so we'll have to provide some amount of surface energy in that. Okay, so the equation will be like this one. We are providing gamma S amount of surface energy, and what is the total surface energy? 6A square. And what is the release of energy? That is delta GV, right? Delta GV into volume per unit. This is per unit volume. So this is the amount of release of energy, and this is the supply. The balance between that happens such that the nucleation takes place. So to find the critical edge length, will differentiate with help of A, right? So this will be how much? 12A gamma S plus 3A square delta GB. So if you equate with 0, then 12A gamma S equal to minus 3A square delta GB, right? So A cancel, so A is equal to 4 gamma S by delta GB, right? Now if you put the values over here, right? So if you put the values over here, minus 4, gamma S is how much? 0.177, right? And delta GV is equal to how much? The release minus 2.8 into 10 power 8. So A will be how much? I have calculated. So A will be 2.52 nanometer. This is the answer. Okay. So this is the way to solve this question. Now next, for each of the crystallographic system listed in group 1, match the corresponding minimum symmetry in group 2. Okay, so we need to match with the minimum symmetry. So we'll first have to see what are the different symmetries we have in the case of different crystal system. Let us see tetragonal, cubic, monoclinic and rhombohedral, right? So if you see the 7 crystal system, it is given over here, that triclinic, monoclinic, orthorhombic. Then the highest symmetry we have in the case of cubic, that is 4 3-fold along a space diagonal. 4 3-fold, like 3-fold symmetry order. This is the diagonal. So when we rotate by 90 diagonal, 90 90 90 90, okay, 4 3-fold along a space diagonal. So total 4 symmetry is there of a 3-fold. So when we rotate by 120 degree, for 3-fold it will be 120 degree, right? So we get this symmetry in the case of cubic. Like this is the diagonal, and if you rotate by 120 degree, then again the similar structure will be there. So this thing you will have to imagine over here. Then next is tetragonal. Like tetragonal, if you see here, tetragonal has one 4-fold axis, like tetragonal if you see. So if we, in the case of tetragonal, the one length is greater than the other. Suppose these two are equal, right? A, and this is B, which is not equal. So A will behave like a square, right? So if you put a axis over there, okay, so if you rotate by 90 degree, then similar structure will be formed. So that's why the 4-fold symmetry is there, okay, and this 4-fold symmetry is only 1. Why 1? Because we can rotate along this line only, right? So this is the minimum symmetry. Then monoclinic we have one 2-fold axis. If you see monoclinic is here, right? So in the case of monoclinic also, we have one angle 90 degree, okay, and rest is not 90 degree. So that's why (90 degree) we have, and so one part behaves like a rectangle, perfect rectangle, and other, since it is not of 90 degrees, so that will behave like a rhombus. So here we can have a 2-fold symmetry, right? Then rhombohedral, that is orthorhombic. So orthorhombic we have, means we do not have the length is very equal, right? So we have a 3 perpendicular 2-fold. So now we'll see the options. So monoclinic, tetragonal, cubic, monoclinic, rhombohedral. So first we'll see tetrahedral. So tetrahedral will have one 4-fold rotation, right? We have seen. Then cubic, 4 3-fold rotation, right? Then monoclinic, 1 2-fold rotation, rhombohedral, 1 3-fold rotation. Oh God. So P wave matches with 4, Q matches with 3, R matches with 1 and S matches with 2. So what will be the answer? Answer will be D. Okay. Now let us move to next question. Arrange the magnetic moment of neighboring atoms in a one-dimensional lattice in group 1 to the corresponding magnetic material in group 2. So P, it is random arrangement of atom, then parallel arrangement, anti-parallel arrangement, anti-parallel and unequal. So options are anti-ferromagnetic, ferrimagnetic, paramagnetic and ferromagnetic. We know that ferromagnetic has the maximum ability, the maximum magnetism. So 4 will match with Q because this has the maximum magnetic moment, because all the magnetic moment are aligned along one direction. So 4 will match with Q. If you see paramagnetic is that material which does not get attracted to magnet basically. So magnetic moment is 0 basically. So it is case of 0, then it is random also. So 3 will match with random. So here the total magnetic moment is 0 only and it is random. Now then antiferromagnetic. The opposite of ferromagnetic is antiferromagnetic. So in antiferromagnetic, basically from the word itself anti, so the magnetic moment will be anti-parallel to each other. So 1 will match with R. Then ferrimagnetic. Ferrimagnetic has some amount of magnetism which is lesser than the ferromagnetic. So here in the case of you see there is cancellation of magnetic moment, but since the size is smaller, yeah, so there will be some amount of magnetism which is left over here. So we can see P matches with 3, Q matches with 4, R matches with 1, S matches with 2. So option B will be the correct answer. Now let us move to next question. For an intrinsic semiconductor, it is intrinsic semiconductor, right? So only one type of atom is there. The room temperature, electrical conductivity 10⁻⁶ per ohm per meter. If the electron and hole mobilities are 0.75 and 0.06 meter square per volt per second respectively, the intrinsic carrier concentration per meter cube at room temperature is. Okay. So we know that conductivity is nothing but number of holes or number of electrons per unit volume into the charge of one hole or electron into the mobility of hole or mobility of electron here. Since here holes and electron both are present, so n electrons and p, that is hole, then charge of 1p, then mobility of 1p, right? Since here it is intrinsic semiconductor, so Ne will be equal to what? Np. So let it be Ne. So charge will be also same. So mu, mobility of electron plus mobility of hole. So N we have to find. The charge of one electron is 1.6 into 10 power 19, right? So mu E, that is 0.75 plus 0.06, and all these units are in standard. Okay, and conductivity it is given 10⁻⁶. Okay. So from this equation, if you find N, then it will be, I have calculated this one, the N will be 7.71 into 10 to power 12, right? So this is the final answer. Okay, now let us move to next question. During heat treatment of a cold work metal, recrystallization is 20% complete after 100 seconds, right? The transformation in percentage in 400 seconds is. Assume Aurami exponent n equal to 2. Okay, so we need to use Aurami equation here. So we know that in case of recrystallization, we use Aurami equation. So what happens in recrystallization? Basically, formation of new strain-free grains takes place, right? And this transformation happens with time and temperature at a fixed temperature. So if you see the Aurami equation, then according to Aurami equation we get, that is percentage transformation or the fraction transformation equal to 1 minus e to the power minus k to the power n, right? So here in the first case it is given 0.2 fraction, it is completed, that is 20%. So 0.2 equal to 1 minus e to the power minus k, we don't know, time we know 100 seconds, and n it is given as 2, right? So using this equation we can first find what will be k value, right? Now let us find first k value. Okay, so ln 0.8 equal to minus k 100 square. K is equal to minus ln 0.8 by 100 square, right? Now in the next case, we need to find the percentage transformation, right? So let would be fraction equal to 1 minus e to the power minus k. K we have found here, this one, minus ln 0.8 divided by 100 square. So put over here ln 0.8 divided by 100 square into time, that is 400 to the power square, right? So if you calculate from this one, then you will get the answer, and this will be what? 0.971. So this will be 0.97, right? So this is your answer. If you see this question, spherical alpha phase particles are depicted in the hypothetical microstructure section shown below using the superimposed grid on the microstructure. The estimated volume fraction of alpha phase is. So this is the phase, that is the alpha phase over here. If you see, right, these are the phases, and there is a grid which is superimposed on this. So if you see the grid, then grid has different points, right? So if you see the number of points, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. So 9 on this side, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. So 9 on this side. So how many total number of points will be? 9 into 9, right? Now if you see the total number of points which are directly on the phase is, so you need to find the total number of points which are directly cutting the phase, or it is on the phase. So let us count. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10, right? 11 12. Okay, so only 12 points are there such that this is lying on the alpha phase. So total number of points lying on alpha phase is what? 12. And what is the total number of points available? It is 81. So percentage volume of alpha will be what? 12 divided by 81, right? So if you divide 12 by 81, then you will get the answer 0.148. 0.148, right? And this is the answer.